Did you know that you could be using your disinfecting wipes wrong? Do they even work? They absolutely work. If, keyword, if you use them correctly. Now it says on here, kills 99.9% of bacteria and viruses. But you can't just simply pull one out and use it because it won't work. Did you know that? It will not work, okay? There are certain things you must do in order for these disinfect wipes to work. Don't get me wrong, they work if you use them correctly. So how many times have you grabbed a disinfect wipe and you just went and started cleaning something, your counter or your cutting board, or you were out? We are all familiar for the past several years of disinfect wipes being at the entrances of our stores so that we can wipe down the handles. But did you know, unless you're using it correctly, it's not working. It's not working. First of all, the very first thing that most people don't realize, a simple disinfect wipe, one, is only good in about a square foot space. Now, this is just a microfiber towel, and it's probably about, looks like to me, just guessing, about 8 inches across. So a little bit larger space. I'm just using this as an example. Just a little bit larger space than this microfiber towel. So if you grabbed a disinfect wipe and you went to wipe down your entire kitchen cabinet with it, once you finish that square space, all you're doing is spreading bacteria and germs around. It's not working. It's only good in a small space. So if you're out and you have them in your car, and how many times have we used them to wipe down the handles of our grocery carts? And we sometimes toss it, sometimes we might stick it in that little top part. And if you feel like something got on your handles while you're walking through the store, you take that little same towel and wipe it again. It didn't work. It didn't work. A square foot is just a little bit larger than this towel, okay? So that's number one. Number two, before you use a disinfect wipe, you need to determine, do I need to clean or do I need to disinfect? Because they're different. If you need to clean your surface, something's on it, there's some dirt on it, then instead of using a disinfect wipe, you need to just use a couple of paper towels, couple of damp, wet paper towels, or a microfiber towel, or your sponge, or whatever it is you use to clean with, and your favorite cleanser, and just clean your counter. Clean whatever it is you need to clean, okay? Just clean it, all right? Not with this. When you clean a surface, you are removing bacteria, germs, and dirt. You're removing it. You're lifting it up off of the surface. When you disinfect, you are in essence killing bacteria and germs and things that are on the surface, okay? Think of it like this. You're killing it on the surface. That means it's not living. It can't technically spread. It's dead. It's not going to be a living thing anymore. When you kill something, it's gone, right? So when you disinfect, then if the surface is not clean and you disinfect, then you've killed the virus, the bacteria, or whatever it is that's on the surface, but it's still there because you didn't clean it off. Now, because you killed it, it can't technically spread, but it's still there. So, Before you disinfect, clean the surface. If by chance something happens and you disinfect first, then clean the surface. You still need to go back with a cleanser and clean the surface. Because when you think of it like this, okay, you got a bug in your house. Everybody done had a spider in their house. Everybody, even me, you got a spider, okay? You killed a spider, all right? The spider is dead. The spider can't hurt you no more. It can't get you no more. No need to run from it. It's laying there. It's dead. You killed it. But what is it doing? It's still there. You've got to clean it up. You got to get it up. It's the same thing with bacteria, germs, and viruses. If you disinfect, you kill it. It's still there. You got to get it up. So you need to clean. So you can either clean before or you can clean after. Okay, that's number 2. Okay, number 3. And the most important one that I'm pretty sure a lot of people have never even paid attention to. In order to use these correctly, you must, I repeat, you must read the instructions on the back of the container, okay? Everyone is a little bit different. For those of you all who are going out there buying the Clorox disinfect wipes, because you got Clorox disinfect wipes, guess what? They do not have bleach in them, okay? So you are paying for the name. I'm just saying. You can buy them. I don't have a problem with it. But you're paying for the name. Go read it. I'm not telling you all anything that you cannot read for yourself, all right? So you don't have to take my word for it. At any rate, you need to read the instructions, okay? As an example, this container, see, says kills 99% of bacteria and viruses, and they are disinfect wipes, okay? Kills the flu virus, wipes away tough everyday messes because it kills the germs and the viruses. If, again, I repeat, if you use them right. So, what does the back of this container really say? Well, it says to clean and deodorize. Wipe surfaces with wipe. Let air dry. Discard the wipe in the trash. Do not flush. Okay? That's just to basically clean and deodorize. So, the back of the container goes on to say, let's see here. It says to clean and disinfect things like mold and mildew. It says wipe hard. Hard, people. Don't just wipe hard. It tells you wipe hard. Okay, now if it's telling you to wipe hard, there's a reason. So it says wipe hard, and it says for non-porous surfaces until visibly wet. Do you know how many of these things you got to use for something to get super wet? And it needs to stay wet for, guess what? 4 whole minutes. These things dry when they hit the air. They're dry quickly. It needs to stay good and wet, and you got to wipe hard on a non-porous surface. Do you realize that most people's countertops and things like that, your cutting board, if you're wiping it off with a cutting board, all those things are porous. How many things have you tried to clean that are porous? Okay, porous means that water, liquid, or anything else, moisture can get into it. It can soak into it. Walls are porous. Wood is porous. All these things are porous. If you've ever taken one of these, the only thing I can think of off the top of my head right now is some metal. All right, most things that we would typically take a disinfect wipe to clean is porous. It says on a non-porous surface, all right? Go on. Then it says, for Candida, it says treat the treated surface. Got to do the same thing. You have to do the same thing by wiping it hard. But the treated surface needs to stay wet for 8 minutes. How many of you all have had one of these and you pulled it out and it stayed wet for 8 minutes? I'm just asking because I want to know the brand. Okay? 8 minutes. That's a long time that it needs to stay wet. And then it's only working in that same square foot spot. Child, my cutting board is bigger than the square foot. So that means I would need to use 2 of them because one of them ain't gonna work. All right? So when you go into the store, you say, I use my disinfect wipes, I'm good. Did you even think to read the container? Okay? Because unless you're doing everything that I just said, it ain't even working. So all this time that you thought your disinfect wipes are working, I'm good, I ain't getting nothing because I wiped it down. You ain't getting nothing because you just ain't getting nothing, okay? And that's a blessing, okay? It ain't a bad thing. But read your instructions, okay? It also says that for mold and mildew, it says this product will effectively inhibit the growth of mold and mildew and the odors caused by them when applied to a hard, non-porous surface. It has to be non-porous, okay? That's the only time it's gonna stop the mold and mildew. So if you got some mold and mildew and it's on something that's porous and you try to get it off with this, it ain't happening. This right here, it ain't happening. So it only works if you do it right. So you make the decision as to whether you want to keep using disinfect wipes. All right? Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today. If you are new to the channel, take a second and subscribe to the channel. If you got just one tip out of this video, share it out. Somebody else needs to know. And turn the notification bell on so you won't miss the next one. I'm Pam, and this is my POV.